Story for you this morning. Did you know the number of sex change operations carried out on the NHS have tripled in the last 10 years? Over 800 men have gone under the knife to become a woman, but it's actually much less common the other way round.
Only 12 women have had operations to become a man. That's over 10 years. One of those, Lee Carter, born Lisa, but is now living as a man. And the thing for Lee is he's about to take the next step, going the whole way in this sex change operation, and as if the journey hasn't been long enough. Lee, I just wanted to start by asking you. It's an amazing journey, and we had Cindy Jackson, on a few weeks ago, and you saw this, and this made you want to talk about what you're going through. But Cindy was 19. Yeah.
Cindy, was going from man to woman,
which is quite young.
Yeah, well, quite young, or if you've known from a young age what you are, which you have done, why wait until you're 42?
Well, I think that that generation, or this generation, is different to when it was when I was young, because it wasn't really spoken about, or even, you didn't hear of people doing those sort of operations. So now I think that it's increased a lot since then. So
and more acceptable now.
It's more acceptable now, and I don't think it's a disease. I think it's genetic.
Well, Cindy definitely said that she knew from a very young age that she felt in her body. What about you?
Well, I've had these conversations with my mum, and it's not my fault. It's not her fault, and she feels that it was born in the wrong body.
So did she say she kind of knew, really? Because you were quite a tomboy, weren't you, when you were little?
Yeah, I was always a boy. I was kicking a ball around when I was 2 years old, and I've played football ever since. And I never wore a skirt, didn't wear a dress, and
You may not have done those things, but your body grew into that of a woman. And this journey that we're talking about, mentally so tough for you, physically so tough for you. The operation that you've just had was a double mastectomy. How long ago?
It would be 6 weeks ago this week.
How are you feeling after that?
I feel incredible.
Really?
I'm feeling normal. Feel myself.
I mean, it's an incredibly drastic operation, obviously, and obviously physically, I would imagine, quite painful. Apart from the physical side, mentally, what has that done for you?
Mentally, I'm beginning to feel right, but I've still got a bit more to go through yet.
Mate, you've more than a bit more to go through. The next operation is in October, and this is going to create the penis.
Yeah, which is made from the phalloplasty.
This is called phalloplasty, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to graft. I just want to explain to people, because it's just incredible what's involved. They graft this from your existing organs that you have. There will be 3 operations before they can complete that procedure. And the detail, they take a vein out of your wrist, and that creates urethra. Yeah. And that will allow you to urinate as a bloke, right? It doesn't stop there. They will create the gland of the penis and testicles, which will be made from
like you use silicone.
Silicone.
It's like having women have their chest done and they have silicone, so it's the same sort of thing.
And it doesn't end there,
No.
because then, as I understand it, they're going to fit you with a device which would actually allow you to have an erection.
That'll be the last one. That'll be July next year. So I'm going to have to fly back and forth from the States having these operations while I'm in study.
So you're studying, you're having the operations here?
The main one in October is 8 hours. That's the big one.
That's here then?
Yeah. And then I'm off to Connecticut on a placement because I'm at the University of Hertfordshire.
Right.
And I'll have one small one in January and then 2 smaller ones after that.
This device, I mean, is this battery operated, remote control? How does this work? I don't understand it.
It's fitted inside and it's functionable like any other male penis, and you get the erection and stuff like that.
Do you actually think that you will? I don't know if you have a partner in your life now, or you would be able to attract partners after this. I mean, do you think that would be any difficulty, or how do you think that would be?
I haven't had a problem with women, but I don't think there will be a problem there at all.
But before you had your mastectomy and things, did you have girlfriends? And then you had to explain, obviously, quite quickly.
It's not been right because of my sexuality. I'm in the wrong shell.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's the best way I can explain it.
Sure.
And Lee, what about your facial hair and your voice? How's that happened?
Basically, I take an injection which is taken like every 3 weeks, and that's injected into the bum. And from there, it's testosterone, which sort of it's the same thing as any young male would go through growing up through puberty into a man. It's the same thing.
And there's been no point through all this so far that you've thought, oh, I wish I hadn't started this. This is such a long journey for you. And
even waking up in the hospital in London, I felt great. Waking up in the male ward, I thought, right, this is the start.
They put you in a male ward.
Yeah,
I thought it was really
I woke up in the grey ward, so in the male ward, and I thought, that's great.
This is where I belong.
This is where I
the male
belong, yeah.
part of the world.
Yeah.
And what about your family? Because Cindy, when we met her, was talking very much about the support, of her family was so important to get her through.
I think
that.
I'm quite lucky, really, compared to some families in society, because my mum and my dad have accepted it, and my mum loves me regardless, and my brother and sister have accepted it, and I've got lots of nephews and nieces, and they call me Uncle Lee. So I think that's quite nice. But maybe there are families out there that are not so lucky as me that have got that support. So.
As I say, there's so few like you, 12 over the past 10 years. And after reading all that, I'm not surprised. You can actually see how a lot of people would put up with living in the wrong shell, as you put it.
It's been difficult because I remember going on holiday once and someone said to me, it must be terrible for you, you're in the wrong body, that you've got to go through that. I wouldn't want anybody to go through it, really.
Of course, now, you've got to convince doctors as well, because this is funded by the NHS. What sort of sympathy or cooperation did you get on that front? Is there none?